Greetings, Mayor Jeff Schielke reporting in on Friday, March 11th, 2022. And I've got just a few things to share, kind of a catch up with. I've had some questions asked around town. Number one, the one that seems to have a lot of people chattering is the fact that at the city council meeting Monday night, the city council unanimously passed all the necessary documents to allow for the construction of a Culver's restaurant in Batavia on Randall Road, just south of the intersection at Randall and Mill Street. Just be to the immediate south of what used to be TGI Fridays restaurant, now Douglas Flooring. It's going to be built in the large parking lot that's right to the south of what is the old Douglas, what is now the Douglas Flooring building, which formerly was TGI Fridays. And they hope to begin construction relatively soon. I would hope that about a year from now it should be totally up and running. Had some very nice conversations with the folks from Culver's when they were making decisions about coming into Batavia, and one of their great points of interest was the fact that we confirmed for them that Batavia had under construction and now are complete 6 separate different senior citizen living communities within our boundaries. And Culver's seems to be a very strong attraction to senior citizens because they describe themselves to me as the senior citizen fast food restaurant of America, because they offer a number of items that are popular with senior citizens, specifically multiple types of soup every day, and I believe 4 or 5 different salads every day. And then they also have the traditional hamburgers and french fries and custard ice cream and things like that. But they are really trying to be a very strong supporter and friend of the senior living community. And I've heard from a number of seniors in Batavia since this has all been announced or was proposed and now has been approved, that they were very pleased that Culver's was coming to Batavia. So that is apparently a sure deal. The other question I'm getting a lot is that there's a lot of people with questions in their minds as to, with the new census out and the redrawing of all the legislative maps that impact Batavia, such as the congressional district, the state representative district, the state senate district, the county board seats. Where can one find the map and what changes are done in the map as far as Batavia goes? I will tell you that this has been a very, very strong challenge for our staff to try to wrap their arms around, because there's been a lot of new moves on the maps as it applies to Batavia. And I'm not totally sure of this, but from what I can see on the maps, parts of Batavia are going to be found in 3 different congressional districts. So it used to be that one congressman had all of Batavia. Now it looks like there's going to be maybe 3 congressmen, which probably won't be all bad, because you'll have 3 different people that will be part of representing you, and you'll be able to hopefully get a voice with them if any issues you feel are of significance at the federal level. But right now I've got the city staff working on putting together a detailed map of each one of all these legislative and congressional districts as they impact Batavia. And we're hoping that we can get these up on the city's website here relatively quick. And again, we may try to put them on display down at City Hall, so if anybody wants to come and specifically trying to point out where their house is as it results from these maps, hopefully you'll be able to do this. I've never quite seen it done like this before, but this is, some people describe some of this as gerrymandering, and I'm not so sure that Illinois didn't have a lot of gerrymandering going on in these maps. Some of them just leave me scratching my head. Now we just have to get the right map, legislative and congressional district numbers on these maps so that we know who the congressman or the state legislator is. Because a lot of the maps are being published without anybody's name on them. And so then I guess if you're a candidate or you are an office holder or you want to be an office holder, you got to crawl onto the computer and try to figure out by looking at these new maps just exactly where it is and how that impacts your house. I have had several people at the state representative level contact me in the last few weeks and say they wanted to come over and have a meeting with me because their district now includes significant portions of Batavia, And this isn't limited to one side of town or the other, it's all over the place. And so we shall see what we shall see, but I would just tell you that if you got an interest in a congressional race or a legislative race or a state senate race, you may want to take a close look at the maps as they apply to Batavia, because we're going to have several different legislators and congressmen representing Batavia thanks to the new maps. And whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I guess we'll have to let history decide, but they have certainly ground Batavia up and put us in a lot of different directions that we weren't previously. And the other thing that I wanted to make mention of, because it's now been erected, the City of Batavia City Council and the city staff is taking steps to at least begin to market, I'll call it, some of the excess city properties that the city owns, including, I guess what I would describe as the former Baptist church site over at Wilson and Washington Avenue, and certainly parts of the area on East Wilson Street Hill. We've got quite a bit of room over there, and that was supposedly always going to be the Shodine project, which Mr. Shodine withdrew here before the first of the year, so we are now getting ready. We don't have anybody in mind. We've had some people call and ask questions, but we're just put some signs up this past week in which we're encouraging anybody that has any interest to call Shannon Jarmus, who is the city's economic development director, and get some particulars from her as to what we have to offer, what the boundaries are, what we are thinking we may do. We say in the signs that they are proposed to be a mixed-use development program, which maybe include some residential units, it may include some retail units, it may include some public units, it may include some public parking. We're not sure where it is specifically at the old Baptist church site and the old parking lot that was immediately to the north and to the west of that. And then we also have some signs on both North River Street, on both the east and west side of the street, from State Street north up to between Spring and Franklin. There are signs that say the river frontage, what used to be Larson and Becker property that the city bought, that is now being used as a parking lot and is heavily used during the Saturday morning Water Street program. We're going to see what we can get as far as people coming in and partnering with the city and taking those sites and further enhancing downtown appeals and properties and business that we may bring into the downtown. So we have that in the mix now. As I say, nothing's been decided. The final decisions will be made by a vote of the city council. The 14 men and women on the council will have the final say over all that development, whatever in the end of the day may be. I would anticipate that this could be a lengthy process. It could be a year or more before we finally figure out who's got the best deal and what we as a community want to do there. But we're going to hopefully do this the right way and make sure that everybody is got an interest, gets a chance to be heard, and we will be trying to solicit some properties for sale in those areas I just mentioned. So those for the moment are kind of the big news of the week. I just wanted to again thank everybody for your cooperation in this winter weather. As you know, we've had many a night of overnight plowing, and the street department's reporting to me that people are generally very understanding and cooperative about taking cars off the street and not complaining about street crews out in the middle of the night, because we have to get everything ready for people to move around in the morning. So this is going to be remembered as one of the more challenging winters of the recent past, and I appreciate everybody's spirit of cooperation as we work ourselves through it. We're halfway through March, so generally by the first week or two of April it's over with, so hopefully we only have a few weeks left and we'll be out of the winter weather. So with that being said, I will bid you a very good wish for the coming week, and I will look forward to talking to you next Friday on the 18th. Have a great week.